There we go. Keep hitting the wrong thing. Hi, everybody. This is Zoph. You are watching Simply SCAdian, no title required. Lucas has overcommitted himself as he always does because he's the bad apprentice. And so he's taking a break and he'll be back at the beginning of the year. But in the meantime, I have the most awesome co-host ever.
Oh,
Jalicia is
hi
with me
everybody.
tonight. So it's wonderful to see you again, Jalicia. Thank you
Oh,
for
it's great
joining.
to see you too. And I always love Phil again. Although we miss Lucas, but I do
We
love
miss
Phil again.
Lucas,
We
yes.
yes.
But what do we always say in the SCA? The real world comes first.
Uh,
Yep. All right, Jalicia, I'm going to let you introduce our guest while I do Geek Girl stuff.
okay, terrific. Well, tonight our guest is Deirdre MakKyneth, Sergeant Deirdre MakKyneth, and she attended her first event on October 2015. Then she went to NOME, which stands for Northern Open War Maneuvers, and PNZIC in 2016. She's been in several offices over the years, and she ran virtual events over COVID, and she's currently Kingdom SMO, among other things. And we're looking forward to learning more about her SCA journey.
Well, it's nice to be here and thank you for having me.
So, how did you find the SCA?
So a little bit of a long story. My mom started a new job with an arts program uh, locally for teaching preschool and elementary kids like math and reading through arts. It's called Arts and Stark.
Heard of
Um,
that? Yeah.
and in that program, her boss was Mistress Catriona,
Mm,
the first Baroness of Brendoken.
yes.
And they did one of those like circles where you sit around and you kind of introduce yourself. And Catriona said something to the effect of on the weekends I wear a crown and people bow to me. And my mom went, "Tell me more."
Mm,
And so they started talking about things, and Catriona showed her a couple of pictures of Penzic. And we went over um, to just to visit mom, probably for her birthday or around there. And my sister and I were just kind of talking about how neat the Middle Ages were. We were pinning different stuff on Pinterest that was kind of costumey, kind of run fairy. And we were saying how wouldn't it be fun if we could kind of like play medieval for real, essentially. And my mom went, "Well, I just started working with this lady who said she kind of does that. Would you like
right.
me to get more information?" And we went, "Yes." And then we showed up at Dragon Quest.
What's Dragon Quest?
Um, an event that happened 10 years ago. I haven't seen it since then. Um, they had kind of everything. The the issue that we had with the possibility of joining the SCA. My son is autistic, and at the time when he let's see this he would have been 9. Um, Tactile issues were very much a thing for him. The way clothes felt, things having tags, the fabric, things like that. And I wasn't sure if this was going to be a thing we could do. Akira was, she would have been like 5 or 6, and Xavier was 9. So we had little kids. And, if this is a thing that we're going to do frequently, I'm not going to be able to find a sitter that often. It's not going to be fun if we have to leave the kids home. So let's find out if this is a thing that they will do, that they will enjoy, and we'll go from there.
Right.
We went to Goodwill, got a couple of dress shirts, cut off the buttons, sewed them up, ta-da, child tunic. Worked out real well. And he had zero issues with the clothing. Kira just enjoyed running around playing. Um, and he discovered thrown weapons.
Mm,
And he has been doing that since. He So his first event, he discovered thrown weapons. He has pretty much not touched anything else since. We try to direct it. Hey, what about this over here? You like puzzles? What about like codexes? And he's like, but thrown weapons. I'm gonna go over here. And he did get a dragon's barb this year at Nome.
And
Oh,
what's a
wonderful.
dragon's barb?
Dragon's barb is an archery or thrown weapons award. I think it's an AOA level award um, for your skill.
Okay. Thank you.
That's great. Yeah. And we should say your local group is the Barony of Brindoken, right?
Yes, in the Barony of Brendoken, we are part of the March of Alderford, which is Stark, Carroll, and Tusk County of Ohio. But that is one of the groups that is part of the Barony of Brendoken.
Right, right, right. And you said that your Kingdom SMO, what is that?
Social media officer.
Oh,
So anything Facebook, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, anything social media related that Middle Kingdom has a presence in, I run that, or find somebody to help me submit things for it. Like a lot of times people will submit pictures that I can use on Instagram.
mm-hmm.
I'm not necessarily the best photographer myself. We have a lot of fantastic photographers in our kingdom. Um, and they are more than willing, most of the time, they are more than happy to, yeah, I'd love for you to post my stuff on Instagram. And it's fun.
Yeah. Can you describe what the SCA is doing in general with social media? Because I keep hearing we need to do more because that's where young people are. We need to be on Instagram and all that. But then there's other people like me who are older and just say, I don't know how to do that. So do you see that as the future of the SCA is going more into social media?
Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, there's a lot of younger generations that are on social media, like Discord and Instagram. Um, but also, social media is very at risk
Yeah.
for scams, spam posts, your information being taken over by. We had last year, there was several members of our organization who had their Facebook profiles stolen
Oh.
and no longer had access to their family photos, to their online presence. They had to create new profiles.
Mm.
Um, and that's unfortunately that's kind of one of the hindrances with technology is that if you're not really aware of technology and how things work and how security things work and what the latest scams are and things like that, it's really easy to get tricked.
Yeah.
Even younger people, people my age, people in their 20s fall for scams. They fall for, these spammy posts because they can look very legitimate.
Yeah.
Um, but things like Instagram, things like TikTok are basically free advertising. You can reach a lot of people who might be searching Viking history, who might be searching medieval, crochet, calligraphy, things like that we do that are still things that people enjoy doing. Um, so using social media for that kind of stuff does get the information out to a lot of people. You don't have to pay to watch a video on TikTok.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes across an SCA thing on TikTok or Instagram, we don't have to pay for that. It's a free service that is free to us and free to other people to use. So it's a good way to advertise for free. You can post about, different events and get the information out to a lot of people. But there are risks involved with having profiles and having this information out there. And safety is always our number one focus. We always want to keep our populace safe. We always want things to be fair and respectful and family friendly for the most part. Um, and it can get a little complicated, but it's also important to embrace and understand technology to continue moving forward and continue having an organization that reaches new people.
Yeah, yeah.
What drew you to that role, to this office?
I've always kind of been a tech geek. When I was a teenager, I taught myself how to build web pages.
Mm-mm.
Um, and it just, all my friends are here. I enjoy, making graphics. I don't like going places where people are around, but I like socializing online, if
Mm.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Where do you think is the biggest thing that local groups get wrong about doing social media for themselves?
Um, I think a lot of times it's an underutilization. Um, there's a lot of groups that could do more on Instagram or TikTok, but it takes effort, it takes imagination, it takes a little bit of skill and some know-how. Um, there's also there's this whole thing with being online, freedom of speech.
Mm.
And I'm online and therefore I can say whatever I want. Except that you're in this group with other people and there's rules that we have to follow to keep everybody safe and not start arguments that don't have any place in our group anyway. You don't want to see like modern political discussions on your baronial page. Um, and most groups do a good job at that, but every once in a while you find one that's like, well, no, it's online, it's free speech. You don't get to tell me what to say. You can say whatever you want on your own page, but in this group, we have specific rules, and it is a privilege, not a right, to be a part of your SCA groups.
Mm.
It doesn't happen very often, which is fantastic. Most of our populace is very passionate but polite. Every once in a while, people get a little too passionate and they forget the polite part.
Right. We just had something happen on the Mid-Realm Kingdom page that blew up and got borderline.
Yes,
Did not
and
cross the line into ugly, but it came close.
but
Yeah.
it came close. And I was watching the comments, and I was talking with Dame Rowana, and I said, at any point, if you need me to shut down comments, intervene, I'm going to see a message from you a lot faster than I'm going to like think about clicking on Facebook and checking in and checking the comments. So if you feel this needs intervention and stop, let me know and I'll put a stop to it. And like you said, some of it got a little borderline, but it didn't really cross. Unfortunately, people sent things directly that were not as nice.
Mm.
They weren't on the public facing page, but she still got a lot of not nice things. And some of it, AI stuff is very confusing.
Oh, we should explain what the post. So the
Yeah.
post was,
Yes.
you want to explain what the post was? Or do you want me to?
She put up a post mentioning that at the ANS fair, they weren't going to 100% prevent AI usage for documentation.
And we should say she's in charge. She's
Yes.
Kingdom ANS person coordinator. So that's her position. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, thank you. Um, what what she was saying was if you need grammar help, if you need sentence help, if you need, if you're struggling and you need help with summarizing some thoughts, just mention, I used AI here. I used AI here. Here's all of my documentation and my sources. But in this paragraph, I used AI to summarize this.
Right.
That was all she was saying. The problem is that AI is very divisive, it's very confusing. AI is everything from Netflix suggesting what the next show you should watch is, to images, videos, and text being completely created from nothing. There's different types of AI, and it gets very confusing on which AI is good, which AI is bad. Well, it's technology, it's not good or bad. And people go off on these tangents about their personal views and preferences. AI isn't necessary. It's technology. It's not good or bad. It can be used as a tool by people who have various disabilities.
Right.
If you have, traumatic brain injury and you can't form sentences very well, you could absolutely use AI to help you write cohesive sentences. I think what people were getting upset about was the idea that populists will just use AI to generate their entire research and documentation. But if you're doing a fair and a competition like that, as soon as a judge asks you a question that you don't
Right.
know the answer to, or, one of the things months ago, I saw somebody post in one of the SCA cooking groups. They asked for a medieval, like, cookie or biscuit recipe or something. And one of the ingredients that the AI thing listed was absolutely toxic to humans and never used as an ingredient in anything.
Oh my gosh.
So when you use generative AI to come up with, there's a story about like a lawyer who used AI to cite sources for things, and the court cases that the AI listed didn't exist, and that lawyer was fired from his job for not actually doing his job.
Right.
And I think that's what people were upset about, was the thought that somebody is going to use AI to completely do their documentation. And the idea of us being an educational group that prides itself on doing the research, doing it authentically, that was just absolutely, why would you do that? But that wasn't the point she was making, and that wasn't what they were going to allow to happen. It's a lot of confusion, it's a lot of high emotions, um, and people need to be able to discuss things and ask questions without bringing emotions into it.
Yeah.
But we're human, and that's really hard to do.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Or at least stay civil about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Being civil about it, being, oh, I never thought about it from that perspective, that kind of thing.
Right. Right. And as we open the SCA to more and more, as we work to make the SCA more welcoming to people with disabilities, um, that need those accessibility things. It seems, I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking, if I didn't have autocorrect on my phone, and that's AI
Yep.
Yeah.
that autocorrects my words. So
And the
I
predictive
am,
text, and
Yeah.
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I use it to run my code through when I type, when I write code for work. I
Mm-hmm.
always go through an AI because I want to make sure that my code is correctly formatted at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so but that's not all you do in the SCA. In the SMO position keeps you incredibly busy, I'm sure, but you also take time to have fun with the arts, namely with cooking. You have some videos out there on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
of cooking. Can you tell us what got you into cooking in the SCA and what stuff you cook and your YouTube channel and everything else?
Yeah, so I've been my grandmother and my So my family ran a restaurant basically from the time I was born until I was around 18. Um, so I have been cooking full meals for dinner since I was like 7 or 9 or so. My family's always been uh, good cooks, and it's just something that I've enjoyed doing. About 10, maybe 8 or 9 years ago, it was after we joined the SCA, so it wasn't quite 10 years ago. I found out I had around 25 food allergies.
Oh no.
You're not hitting up a restaurant with 25 food allergies. You're not going out to eat anywhere. So it was a good thing that I enjoyed cooking because now it was kind of a requirement. But it's always something that I've enjoyed, and I like the from scratch aspect. It's just something I enjoy doing. And there's a lot of people who don't have that. I have a friend who complains that she has no idea how to make mashed potatoes, of all things. Um, so to find cooking videos that don't exactly dumb it down, like you're not talking to a 5 year old, um, but also that aren't overly complicated, assuming that everybody watching is a sous chef or so. Um, I like with the educational aspect, I like explaining. So there's one video I did. Um, I don't even remember what it was that I made, but I know there's a section on it with dandelion greens.
Oh, great. Wow.
And you know how for a long time dandelions weren't considered weeds, and they're actually nutritious. You can eat every part of them. Here's a image from the USDA on the nutritional aspects of a dandelion. You know, how much vitamin C is in it, how much fiber is it, the protein, all that stuff from the USDA website, because it's a food. It's not a weed. And all these things that little bit of like zombie apocalypse prepper. Like, if there's no grocery store, what can I eat? Oh, look, dandelions. Here's how you make them.
Right, right. Yeah. Have you
Uh,
ever headed up a feast at an
I
event?
I did. I did my first solo feast earlier this year, back in February. March of Alderford held an event called Mask of Courtly Love,
Oh, yeah, that's
and
a big event. Yeah.
yep, and I ran my first feast for that.
And I remember that feast. It was very, very good. So what's the biggest thing that you learned from doing that feast?
Um, have the kitchen in the same location as the rest of the event.
Oh
Oh
my.
no, was it not?
It was a separate building. So we had and uh my friend who works for this place, they had all kinds of like heated boxes, and we set this stuff up, but we did have to transport all of the food from one building to another building. It was a little challenging. Um,
Did you do it on carts or did you put it into someone's car or how did you do that?
we very carefully set it in a couple of people's cars.
Okay. And
Um,
they drove very
and
slowly.
they drove very slowly. It was kind of downhill around a curve. And then we had the back of the where the seating and everything was. I had a couple of people that were helping me like get food out, and it actually went very well, for a first time feast and for it being in a different building. And of course, I forgot things, and the one co-steward like kept running to the grocery store for me. Like, what'd you forget? All of the spices. They're on my kitchen counter. Every
Yeah.
single seasoning. Totally forgot it. But
Well,
we were able to make do.
yeah, that happens. Yeah. What would you do next besides remembering the spices? What would you do next?
Um, boy, good question. Um, I guess just try different things.
Mhm.
I A lot of what I did was some of it was newer. The one mistake that I made, I had these. Um, jellied epocris, jellied wine. And unfortunately, the back of my refrigerator sometimes freezes things,
Mm,
and the jello got frozen. And when it thawed, the texture was completely wrong and it was awful, and I didn't serve it. It was not good.
yeah.
Um, but when I tested it 2 weeks before, it came out fantastic and it was delicious. So I wouldn't mind making that again.
Yeah. Just try
Um,
again. Yeah.
but just trying different things from different locations.
Hmm.
I mean, you have a very, you know, British Isles name. What is your persona?
My persona is Norse Gaelic,
Hmm.
so Viking ancestry, born in Scotland, 13th century. And I wear when I do fighting and stuff, I have this big yellow gambeson. There was a mercenary company, mostly made of Norse Gaels, called Gallo Glass. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm working on. I've got some linen sitting in a cart, waiting for me to pay for it and buy it. Where I'm going to make kind of a coat of plates based off of an Irish Lena, and uh, make that into my armor.
Yeah. What's an Irish Lena?
It's kind of like a jacket. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Sorry, the Lena is like the tunic. It's called an inner. Is the jacket IONAR, inner?
Okay.
But it's a jacket. It's not an inside. Okay, sure, whatever. But it's uh Irish garb. It's the Gallo Glass were feared. You've got these angry Scottish Viking people with these giant axes and their saffron dyed tunics, and they're just can't be controlled. They are chaos on a stick.
So that takes us into the next thing I wanted to talk about, which is your fighting in the SCA. You have you are a sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us what that means? Tell our audience what that means and how you got into fighting.
Um, I've always been a little bit more of an aggressive type person. I enjoy sparring and fighting. I did martial arts as a teenager. On the fighting aspect was my favorite back then. And when I started doing stuff in the SCA, I started with the arts and sciences. I started with archery, and eventually learned how to get into doing the fighting. And that has absolutely been a blast since then, with a lot of people helping to get me in gear and loaner stuff and hear this person selling things and all that. The sergeant is kind of a combination of leadership skills and fighting skills. And being good at fighting is kind of in there, but it's a little bit more of a leadership position. A lot of times, the sergeant position, you'll see people who have led their group at Penzic or the various wars. Um, Mine specifically was for our march has not had a marshal, an armored marshal, since I've been in the SCA. Our local group has not had an armored marshal the entire time I've been in it. So my husband and I both got our marshalate at the same time. He became our baronial deputy, and I took over running our march as an MIT. I talked to the Kingdom Earl Marshal at the time was Duke Kellig,
Hmm.
and he saw what I was doing, worked with me personally, and trusted that as a marshal in training, that I would do good for the group, with the condition that within a year, like, I wasn't going to put off getting the marshal done. I was going to focus on it and get it done and not hang out as a in training for long.
Yeah. Isn't it hard to do that though if there's no one in your group who is fighting also? Did you have to go to other groups to get that kind of experience and training?
A little bit. So my husband did it with me, so we got to beat on each other.
Okay.
And our Baroness, Katrina Klein, Wolverine,
Yeah.
she was coming down and helping also. And we did a couple of times go up to the March of Gwentarian in Akron, um, and did some fighting there. But a lot of the martial experience came from doing different events,
Hmm.
and just volunteering and helping people out and having mentors show you how it works.
Yeah, yeah. And how do you get to be a sergeant? How does that process work?
It's like any other Kingdom award. It's up to the Crown to recognize you. People have to tell the Crown about the cool things that you're doing.
Mm,
Um, specifically, I think it was the getting the march started and getting the armored going there was what was mentioned on the award itself.
yeah.
Was that it was for taking the initiative and getting it going again.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And that award is called the Red Company.
Yes. And there's a second level to Red Company, where it's gold maces instead of silver, and you get the title of captain. And it's pretty much just more of continuing to show leadership, continuing to advance in your skill level, continuing to help others find their way. And
So what's next for you in the SCA? I mean, we've only talked about cooking. What else, what other arts are you into?
I do some embroidery. Um, I've the Honorable Company of Embroiderers. I've
Yeah.
joined them. Um, I don't think it's ever going to be my thing, but I do enjoy it, and it can be relaxing, and fun. It's it can be kind of challenging. Um, you get little knots in the strings, and
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
um, but
It
it's
takes so long to finish anything.
yes, I have
Yeah.
a piece that I've been working on for a year, and it's just like a collar decoration. It's
Yeah.
not super complex, but um and I've completed other things that are a little more intense. This is one of those, like, when I have free time I'll get to it kind of situations. But I do enjoy embroidery. I A little bit of everything. I've done some embroidery. I've done some scrolls, so some baronial awards. I haven't quite gotten up to, yeah, I'm good enough for Kingdom, which I know isn't a thing. um, but it's, yeah, so I've done some scrolls. I've done some embroidery work. I've done some calligraphy. Um, I've done some leather working. Pretty much anything I can get my hands on, I'm going to at least try it.
Yeah. Before we came on, you said you were making a Tandy run. Is that to get leather working supplies?
Yes. So this will be our fifth year doing it. My husband and I started back in 2020. Um, we did Alderford, so our local group, we did the Alderford Elves. And we had a couple of members who were on the outskirts. They were older, some immune system issues, things like that. And we know that they were kind of isolated and not able to socialize with anybody, lived on their own. So we put some little gift bags together with little mugs and cocoa packets, candy canes, nothing real intense or anything, just a couple things. And we went and delivered them to some of our members that were kind of more isolated.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And then we've pretty much been doing it ever since. And it gets bigger and more involved every year. More of the populace wants in on it. You know, they were recipients last year. They want to pay it forward this year. What can I make? That kind of thing. And I every once in a while I'll try to theme it just to focus. You know how sometimes when you're trying to think of, you know, something to do, it's a little overwhelming because you have too many options.
Yeah, yeah.
So last year, it was last year or 2 years ago, we did like a self-care theme.
Mm.
So 2 years ago, he says. And I made, so like all the way back in March, April-ish, I was collecting dead nettle leaves to dry them and make salve.
Mm. Okay.
Um, that's, you know, just olive oil and beeswax. So if nothing else, it's good for your skin and helps not be so dry.
Yeah.
We made soap. The Gwentarian Weavers Guild made washcloths for me. Another member did hand dip beeswax candles. So we put all, and then everybody came over and helped hand paint cards. And I
Yeah.
think that year we had like 18 to 20 recipients.
Yeah. How do you decide who the recipients are?
I have a submission form.
Oh, okay.
Um, so either I just kind of watch throughout the year, you know, somebody puts up a Facebook post that says, you know, my dad passed away. Or they do a Facebook post that says, you know, I just got a cancer diagnosis.
Mm.
Or they're not super public with it because that's just not who they are as a person. So I put up this form that's anonymous submission. You don't have to say who you are. I just want the name of the person, what their physical address is, and if you know if they have any allergies. So that
Mm.
we don't accidentally, you know, I like when we did the soap, I didn't want to put scents and fragrances in things because a lot of people have allergies or
Right.
sensitivities to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if we do something like this year, we're going to do some fine cakes. So we're going to do little shortbread things. If somebody has a food allergy, I would like to not poison them.
Yeah.
So we have an online submission form. And if you're not on Facebook and you can just tell us at the meeting. Just come up and say, hey, this person's had a really rough year. Can we make sure that they get a basket? You got it. Do you have an address? Cool. And if you don't have an address, that's fine. I'll contact the Seneschal and find it. We'll do, you know, a realty office search. We'll figure out what your address is. If we can't, I'll give you the bag at a meeting or something.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really tremendous that you guys do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How many names have you gotten so far for this year?
I think we're 15 or 18. We've got a couple of families, so we always have to make the decision of do they just get two of each item? Do they get two separate bags? It kind of depends on what's going in them. And like one of the names we have this year is a parent and child, but the child is an adult and they don't live together. So they'll get two separate bags.
Hmm.
For a family that lives together, we might do multiples of one item and singular of another. Like a couple of times we've done ornaments. You don't necessarily need two or three of the same ornament on your tree,
Right.
but for everybody to get their own, you know, bar of soap or stack of cookies or whatever, you know, that would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, we're usually around 20 people. And this year is same. It's 15 to 18, I think, is the list right now.
So, I asked you about your YouTube channel. We didn't get, what's your handle on YouTube?
Uh I it's Baintian, which is the Gaelic lady from when I got my AOA. It's Baintighearn.
God.
Baintian. See why I go with Sergeant now?
Yeah, yeah,
um, if honestly, if you just put Baintian into the search, you're gonna find me. But
Okay.
it's Baintian Deirdre MakKyneth.
So my next question is, I think that the elves is a great idea.
yeah.
So what advice could you give to one of our viewers if they decide to make this happen in their local group? And I'm assuming at this point it's probably too late for somebody to launch the project, but maybe they can do it for 2026. I mean, I'm assuming in March you said you started, getting dried nettle leaves. So when do you start thinking about it? What are the parameters? What's a how-to? Or have you thought about putting out a how-to
Yeah,
guide?
you really should. You really should. Yeah.
I could definitely do that. Yeah, we'll probably brainstorm and put out a how to on that. Um, what is so the first year was during COVID, and that didn't shut everything down until March, April. When did we start plotting stuff for the elves? Was that like October?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so the first year it wasn't that far out before we did the deliveries. But again, that first year was like
It was small, all store-bought items.
Dollar Tree Christmas mugs and packets of cocoa and candy canes. We did have one member who has a chocolate allergy, so we found hot apple cider packets instead for them. Um, but I mean, that was, like I said, like Dollar Tree mugs and packets of cocoa. Me and the kids sat down and, well, all four. Yeah, we all painted cards. And I just like drew little A's that kind of looked medieval style. I looked up different pictures online and kind of modified them a little bit. And then I just made copies of them, and we all sat down and painted the cards. I mean, that year it was maybe a week or so before. It really wasn't that prepared. Now we think about what we're doing as soon as we finish the deliveries.
Mm.
We're already plotting, okay, what went well this year, what can we improve for next year, and what kind of thoughts are we having about what we want to do. The one year when we did the card party, the bag packing and having people over to paint cards, one of our members, Mistress Arwena, had started talking about limericks. And she just kind of said, there once was an elf from Brendoken. I went, oh, I know what we're doing next year.
What, you're going to do limericks?
Yeah. So
Okay.
the message on the card that following year was, there once was an elf from Brendoken who heard you could use a small token. I don't remember the rest of it, but it was something about, you didn't have a great year. Here's some holiday cheer, that kind of thing.
Oh, nice.
So sometimes it's, thinking about the following year before this one's even done, which I haven't done yet, but
Well, you are in a way. You're thinking about next year with the limerick.
yeah.
Yeah.
So um it just kind of depends what you want to do. They don't have to be super involved, but now that we've started it, we're always looking for oh, you do still have it. There once was an elf from Brendoken who felt you could use a small token. It's been a crap year, so we've crafted some cheer, and we hope that your heart is less broken.
Oh, that's
Aw.
beautiful. That's really nice.
Yeah, I'd love to. If you get a how-to, send me the link and I'll put it up on the Simply Scadian webpage.
You got it.
But I think so. One of the things that I'm noticing as Jalecia and I are talking with you is you are very service oriented.
Yes.
You are
Yes.
all about serving others, helping others, whether it's with food or martial arts or the elves or SMO position. And you are protege to someone. Can you tell us how that came about?
Yeah. Dame Hadley. My husband and I are both protege to her. Um, we have been looking for someone to protege under for a couple of years. It's definitely a path that we both want to do. We're both very service oriented, and we do a lot of things together. And Hadley approached us about taking that step, and we're already friends with her. Um, so we jumped on it.
Yeah, yeah. How would you describe the relationship that you have with your peer? Is it like really formal or more friendship or
Ours is less formal. It's definitely more of a friendship. She's really good on checking in on how we're doing, seeing if we need help with stuff. Um, she's currently with Baron Cadigan, and we've been friends with him for years. They're basically like a second family for us. Several people in the SCA are like family members with us.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, so it's definitely more of a casual friendship relationship, but there is still that, hey, you know what you should do is you should go over here. Oh yeah, that is a good idea. Thanks. So for us, it's definitely more of a casual. Um, but yeah, we have a lot of fun and we get into some shenanigans and are definitely there to help out. And actually, under her direction, we helped out with the Kingdom State Dinner at Penzic this year.
Oh, nice.
And that's at Penzic every year. That's when all the royals go to to the kings and queens of all the attending kingdoms get invited to this big fancy dinner in the sponsoring kingdom, which is either the East, Aethelmark, or the Midrealm.
Yep. So Midrealm held it this year, um, and they were all in attendance, and I got to boss squires and knights around. It was a blast.
Nice. Did you cook? Did you cook anything?
I did not. Barone Aislinn, I think that's how you pronounce it, and Baron Leofric were the kitchen.
Hmm.
Aislinn was the primary cook, but Leofric definitely helped out, and he made some amazing uh, sherry. It was this like dark chocolate wine that was amazing. He did
Wow.
a phenomenal job. He's
Nice.
like, it was a kit. I was like, it was delicious.
Even better. All right, we're almost out of time, believe it or not. So it is time for the final question of the night.
Okay.
What can the SCA do better?
I think in general, the SCA needs to remember that not everyone has been here for a while. Um, a lot of times when there's events going on, especially from a newer person standpoint, when we were, I sometimes I still feel like I'm new because you meet people, they're like, oh, I've been doing it for 30 years. I'm like, oh, I've been here for like 8. Uh, and you know, different events and things, they're like, oh, it's the same place as last year. Cool. I didn't go last year.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
tells me nothing.
Right.
Websites, event websites are crucial. I will not be driving 5 hours to an event that I don't know if it's going to have something that I'm going to enjoy doing. I'm definitely not dragging my kids out of bed for it. So remembering that not everyone has been around for a while and presenting any information that you're giving out about an event, about a meeting, about activities that are going on, presenting the information as if everybody consuming that is brand new and has never attended a thing before. I think that's, in my opinion, there's some places that do, sorry, low power mode.
Mm.
There's some places that do a fantastic job with it. But generally, overall, I think event websites are just as, if not more important than event Facebook pages.
Mm.
And presenting the information as if everybody attending is their first event, I think that is something we could do better with.
I certainly agree. Definitely.
Sorry, my cat has been doing really weird stuff. I guess she likes you or something because the whole time we've been talking, she's now attacking my knitting behind me. Sorry, I'm distracted because I hope she doesn't undo the scarf I've been knitting.
Oh no.
Okay. So thank you so much, Deirdre, for being our guest tonight. This has been really wonderful to talk to you.
Yeah, you were super interesting. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Jalicia, for being my co-host.
Thank you. Thank you. It was fun, as always.
And everybody, we will be seeing you in 2 weeks when we have another awesome new guest. And that'll be before Thanksgiving, so I won't tell you all to have a great American Thanksgiving. See you next time.
All right.